Hello, everybody. Welcome to the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast. I'm Bill,
I'm DK.
and this is our first back-to-back weekend. We've never done this before, but I think it's for the right. Well, today it's for the right reason because
I think with the when we do the big pay-per-views, we'll probably end up starting to do something like this
yeah,
where we can do a preview and a post show where it's like still fresh in our minds.
yeah,
A lot of times we'll review a pay-per-view maybe a week or two after it happens, and then maybe we don't remember everything, but man, what a show last night.
wow. Like I said to DK before we started, this was just a fun show from beginning to end.
That's a really good word for it.
Nothing really to complain about, honestly.
No, it might be kind of a boring review because we're probably going to agree on everything, and we're probably going to say, oh, it was a great job, no criticism, and Triple H's first show is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Raw tonight too.
Raw's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. I'm used to the shows being on Sundays. So
I know.
So,
yeah.
And it's a long weekend. So I'm a little off today, so I apologize. But yeah, you know what I mean. Monday night.
Welcome to Sunday Night Raw.
Hey, maybe they could do that. Switch it to Sunday Night Raw and then pay-per-views on Saturdays.
There you go.
But yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's get into it. We started the show with the Raw Women's title match, Bianca Belair defending against Becky Lynch.
What a sick opener. Like, and the year before they had like a short little squash match when Sasha was hurt, and then Carmella came out to a whole crowd of booing her, and she just kept dancing around. And then, but it was nice that this was a really good match, back and forth.
Yeah, this told a good story.
Yeah, it was a really good story told here. I can't remember who I picked to win this match. I think I picked Becky, so I'm 0 for 1.
Right.
I think I didn't write down my picks yesterday. We're just kind of like going through it.
Yeah.
I really liked the switch. How Becky seems like she had her heel run.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the other women's match, I'll give my take on what the future holds for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, great match. I give this a B-. It's a really good opener. Good timing. The crowd was pretty good all night, I thought.
Yeah.
I was watching those clouds. I think in the Bobby Lashley match when he came out, they were looking kind of dark. So I'm like, ooh, but we got lucky. We didn't have any weather problems. So.
Yeah, no Thunderslam this year.
But yeah, I give it a B-. Nice win for Bianca, and then the ending when the surprise of Bayley.
Yes.
Was kind of cool. I didn't read any rumor pages, so I wasn't expecting Bayley to come up. I know she had some issues with her ACL, so
yeah,
she had been off TV for probably like 15 months or so.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then the other two women that showed up, that was unexpected. So I'm thinking that that's probably going to be a faction where Bayley's the leader.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I thought maybe somebody else would come out to kind of make it a 3 versus 3. But it was still kind of cool with Becky and Bianca kind of becoming a team for that short period of time. What do you think of the match?
I think with the match, both women did a tremendous job. I liked the pacing of the match. I liked how everything went. And that the ending was really good with the Spanish fly from the second rope leading
Yeah.
into the KOD. I'm agreeing with you. I gave this a B minus. Um, but yeah, after the match, I wasn't sure about Becky shaking hands. I thought it was a trick, but it didn't. It ended up not being a trick.
She did do the left hand too. That's
Yeah,
usually
that was what made me think
usually
that.
the fake out, like, I'll get you with my right. But
And then, like you said, Bailey came out. I had heard rumors like a few weeks ago. I wasn't sure if it was true or not. And then Dakota Kai coming back was really surprising because she had been released from NXT a while back.
yeah,
And then Io Shirai, who was saying, if I don't get a contract with the main roster, I'm leaving.
I guess she got one.
Yeah. So all in all, real good segment. And what I take from it is they are putting faith in Bianca in the Raw women's division right now. And absolutely she should have that faith, because one of the things that I've said for the last few years is how she has improved tremendously in the 3 years since, like, the first time I saw her in a big match, where I was like, oh, she's not going to make it. But she, proved a lot of people wrong, including me. And I'm happy she did. She seems like a wonderful, lady. And
Yep.
she, you could make an argument she's the best women's wrestler in WWE right now.
Yeah, I would put her number two behind Charlotte right
Mm-hmm.
now if I was doing a power rankings.
Yeah.
Um, Charlotte's just on a league of her own, in my opinion. But she has passed Becky for me.
Mm-hmm.
As like it was Charlotte, Becky, and like Ronda came back. Ronda's Ronda. She's well, we'll talk about Ronda later in the show. But she's Ronda's more of a Brock Lesnar for me. Like she shows up and does the main shows, and she does the build up, and then she loses, and then she'll go away
Mm-hmm.
for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca has become that like number one person on Raw.
Yeah.
Um, where I think you could move Becky to SmackDown and have her feud with Ronda Rousey now. Before, I was trying to figure out how they were going to do it because everyone assumes that would be the match at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got Bianca, just like she's beat Becky a few times now. She's had really good matches. The WrestleMania match was really good. And the SummerSlam match was really good. So
Yeah.
I'm I was on board with Bianca a little bit earlier than you were.
Yes,
I know that you
yes.
had some concerns with some of her stuff, but yeah, she's especially with Sasha being gone, this is like her time to shine now. So,
Mm-hmm.
and this was another really good, big time pay-per-view match for her.
Yeah.
Had like a few in a row now.
That's the main thing right there.
That WrestleMania match with Sasha was kind of
Yes.
the beginning where she got to headline. Like I know they do WrestleMania 2 nights, so I don't know what you call the main event of WrestleMania anymore. For me, it's still the Sunday last match on the Sunday,
Right.
but to close a show,
That's a pretty big
that was huge, and she just keeps getting better and better and better. And I think she's just going to get better.
I think,
Keep it going.
and this is a little early to say, but she could be the female big match Cena.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the last year and a half, starting at that WrestleMania with Sasha, when it comes to the big pay-per-views, and I'm going to exclude last year's SummerSlam because I think that was more storyline than anything. She delivers in the big matches. And I'm not saying that Charlotte doesn't, or Becky, or Bailey, or Sasha, but you need someone in the women's division to deliver in the big matches, and Bianca has done that. consistently for the last year and a half. And I I I look forward to her matches on pay-per-view. I do, because
Yeah.
they're always going to be good to watch.
Now, like in other situations, someone that had a huge match at WrestleMania and they're getting like that push.
Mm-hmm.
I know people in wrestling always hate that word, but um, and then she goes to SummerSlam and then she loses so fast. I don't think it bothered her. Like you can almost see like the fan in her sometimes when you
Mm-hmm.
see like people coming out as a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really good of her. She loses to Becky and then she keeps having good matches and then she gets
Yes.
the title back. So and I think if you look at the way her matches have been, you could definitely see a Ronda Bianca match in the future, and I think
At
that would be a
some
really good
point,
match.
yeah.
Like before, like I was always wanting that Becky Ronda match.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like it's going to be like a Ronda as a heel and Becky as the babyface now. For me, I don't know how well that would work
Well,
because
we'll have to
I
see
don't
if it
know.
happens.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we both give a B minus. So
Mm-hmm.
how boring are we, right?
All right. Well, next match is Logan Paul against The Miz. Um, this was another fun match, and I think this match proved to anyone who had any doubts as far as Logan Paul and WWE, this is going to work. I really think this is going to work. Um, he stayed with the Miz move for move. They did everything right that you needed to do. And then when Logan Paul hit that frog splash through the table,
I
I
jumped off my couch.
I could not believe how good that was, because he hit the frog splash at WrestleMania, which looked good. This one might have been better
Yeah.
because I think he had a little bit more air to his jump. And
Well, you
then,
learn, right?
mm-hmm,
He probably watched the film and went, "Oh, okay, I just got to go a little higher."
yeah,
And it looked honestly like the commentating guys were talking about it. It does look like AJ Styles has been working with him because
mm-hmm,
his style was like, I don't mean the pun there, but
right,
it's very similar. Like not as smooth, obviously, because AJ is one of the best in the world.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, for me, like that, when he went to the top rope, I thought he was just going to do like a little elbow drop and nothing extremely spectacular.
yeah,
But when he did that frog splash and he hit it, it was like perfect.
yeah,
I was like, holy Jesus, this guy that's like won me over.
yeah.
Honestly,
And
like
then, oh, go
like he
ahead.
was a celebrity in a tag match at WrestleMania. Okay, but if you're gonna go and have maybe one or two matches, I'm sure he's had practice matches, but well, like one match before this as a tag team where he hit it out of the park. We agreed.
Mm-hmm.
He one up himself here. He even did better this time. He
And
beats
then
the Miz with his own move.
exactly, that's what made that ending so perfect. Is
Well,
he?
it's funny because that's kind of like their whole rivalry starting is Miz
Mm-hmm,
doing it to him.
yeah,
Now, this is funny. I read this on Twitter, and it's the most true statement ever. Miz is the only wrestler that could lose to a celebrity by his own move, and it won't hurt him.
that exactly.
Like the Miz could lose to two puppies in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. The poodle gets the championship. Miz rolls out of the ring. The next night he comes out. He's on Miz TV. Talks about how awesome he is, and it didn't hurt him at all.
No,
He's
no.
the only wrestler in the world that could lose any night and still be an A-list relevant wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Like you need to put somebody over. Mike Mike will do it for you
Yeah.
because he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the fame. He loves the money. He loves everything. He doesn't care. Like you could look at his win loss record in, I think from 2020 to 2022. I think he had like 4 wins or something.
Wow.
Like like overall, house shows, everything. And one of those wins was that championship match
Mm-hmm.
where I think it was Drew McIntyre beat.
Yeah, it was.
So good for Miz. It was a great match.
It was.
I give it a B.
All right. I went a little bit higher than you did. I gave it a B plus.
Wow.
And if Logan Paul decides to stay full time as a wrestler, I will give him a chance because he can't work with the Miz forever.
Yeah,
Let's
like
see what he
that's
can
the
do
thing,
with
right?
others. That's the key.
Like I think Logan Paul would be like the way he wrestles. He wrestles like a baby face. He like doing the comeback, similar to how
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels was in
Mm-hmm.
'96, where he gets kind of beat up the whole time and then he comes back and does
Yeah.
all these spectacular moves. But I think personality wise, like we all kind of want to hate him.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like he when he comes out and he's dressed up like how he was dressed last night, similar to Miz. Like you're like, oh god, this guy's such a loser. But then he impresses you in the ring. So I don't know how they would if this is going to be a one time deal or if he just shows up once in a while.
Right. Right.
Like, I don't know if he's going to be an everyday because he doesn't have to. Like
No, he doesn't have to.
the amount of business opportunities he has and money and stuff, like if he does a full-time wrestling gig, I think it's because he enjoys it,
Yeah.
not because for financial reasons, but we'll see.
And I do want to say before we go to the next match, for those that are curious, Logan Paul's brother, Jake, had his fight canceled that was going to be next weekend. And the reason is his opponent could not make weight.
Ah,
Because apparently I was reading it a little bit before you got on, and I think they were going to compete at 200 pounds. And his opponent,
this is boxing, right?
yeah, this is boxing.
Okay.
And his opponent was at like 211 and a half, but he's a natural heavyweight. So
Okay.
there's really no way he would have, so they've canceled the entire show because of I'm sorry. You had to make that an exhibition. It could not be a real
Yeah.
scheduled fight. Just
Yeah,
couldn't.
like what's the who cares?
Yeah.
Like it's weight. I know with the commissions and stuff, but if they just like you said, if they just make an exhibition, like nobody cares.
Yeah, they would have been fine. You
Like,
could have the rest of the
doesn't
card.
that doesn't count. He's 11 pounds overweight. Okay, but by the time the fight happens, everyone is overweight.
Yeah.
They make their weight and then they bulk up again in
Yeah.
that next day. It's just the way
Exactly.
it works. So
Exactly. All right.
it's not something I was going to watch anyway. So
No. Oh no. I was not. Next match, Theory challenging Bobby Lashley for the United States title.
Hey, this is like probably the worst match of the night. I don't know. I like Theory is he's gonna be good, I think. But I just they might be just pushing him a little bit too much too fast for me. Like I know they gave him the Money in the Bank briefcase when Vince was still running things. We'll see how that plays out in the end. We'll talk about it as we get going at the end of the show here. It was kind of similar to what we predicted. Like he did have that like he came out fast with at the beginning of the match with the briefcase, and then Bobby kind of took over. It wasn't you have the timing of the match. Like I don't think it was very long.
Bobby
kind of beat him pretty fast there, and then he gave him the full Nelson finisher, He's still calling it the Hurt Locker,
Let's see. Oh,
Hurt Lock or something.
yeah. Um,
When they were the Hurt Business, so I thought maybe they might change the name of his finisher.
that match went 4 minutes 45 seconds.
Wow. Okay. I
The
thought it was like
second
10 minutes.
shortest match.
Second shortest. Okay. Yeah, it was okay. Like, this is a really good show. So I'm kind of like holding this one a little bit down. Like, if on another show, it probably was a passable match, but I give it a C minus. It was okay. Told an okay story.
This, and I hate to use this term because I think it kind of insults the wrestlers, but this was kind of a cool down match because the first two were so strong and so good that they needed to have this kind of a match. I just could not get into this one. I think a lot of it was because maybe the idea of Theory could be coming back later in the night, and it felt
Yeah.
kind of rushed. So I gave this a D.
A D. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this was not my
It's
least
close to
favorite
mine.
match. There's
Like the
another one.
yeah. Maybe I'm missing one. But
Okay. So
cool.
next match, the Mysterios against Finn Balor and Damian Priest in the no disqualification match. Um Honestly, until we got towards the end, it was kind of a disappointing match. But then it picked up towards the end. And then when Edge came out, and they even kind of spoiled it in the pre-show with the vignettes.
Yeah.
So you kind of knew who was, what was going to happen. Mysterio's got the win. I hope that feud is over for good because they could do so much better with Balor and Priest and Ripley. They really could. I gave it a C.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I thought the match, like with the guys in the match, it could have been a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
The Edge stuff was so obvious. Like, I even before that vignette came out and it said tonight,
Yeah.
like you kind of knew that, like you knew it was Edge for
Mm-hmm.
one. Um, the entrance was kind of cool. It was kind of like they kind of combined the music from the Brood and then his
Yeah.
theme as well, which was kind of cool. Now I don't know if this is going to be a one time deal. If he just comes out as Edge on Monday, and is Edge going to start a new faction now? With now, I don't see it being the Mysterios in the faction.
Oh God, no.
God, that would be terrible. I'm just picturing Dominic Mysterio spitting blood like Gangrel. It's just like, no,
Did
dear.
I do it good, Poppy?
Yeah, you know what? I was happy that I was wrong about Dominic turning on Ray,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that would have been a little bit more interesting because Dominic's just like following his dad around.
Yeah.
He's not as good as Ray.
No.
He's an okay wrestler. He doesn't look like a wrestler. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Dominic, honestly. Like he's good in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't look like a wrestler for me.
I could,
So,
yeah, I could see where you're going with that.
yeah. Um like if his last name wasn't Mysterio, he wouldn't be in WWE,
Mm-mm. Oh
right?
no.
Like if he just showed up at the performance center, they probably would have laughed him at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can do high flying moves, okay.
Sure you
But
can, kid.
sure you can. Yeah. Yeah, I'm similar. You gave this one a C?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably C minus, C, pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with Edge now
Mm-hmm.
because it seemed like they wrote him out of that group like quickly
Yeah.
with the Cody Rhodes injury. So now maybe he'll be getting that push for title matches or something. But now when you got both championships on SmackDown,
Yeah.
it kind of like what do the Raw guys
Gonna
fight up
do.
over
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Like so I don't know. It's like unifying the titles. I don't know. Like if it was a great idea. Like I thought they were going to unify it and have one belt and then have that champion kind of face everybody. Now Drew is Drew a Raw guy?
No, he's a SmackDown.
He's SmackDown guy. So we're still doing it's basically the SmackDown title.
Yeah.
It just got like the Raw like people like Bobby Lashley just kind of got screwed over in their whole WrestleMania
Mm-hmm.
unifying match. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, but this was the former regime, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I hope Triple H doesn't bring out like the World Heavyweight Championship again.
Now
Hey,
one
Bobby, here you go. You're good. You can
yep.
have
Now one thing I will
it.
the one thing, looking back on my notes now that I did like is the way they booked this show, because the entire first half of this show were the Raw matches.
Yeah,
After that, it is all SmackDown matches. So I gotta give them props for that, because they could
yeah.
have done the back
Michael
and forth
Cole.
thing, but they're like, no, we're gonna do Raw matches first, then the SmackDown matches.
Yeah,
So next match is Pat McAfee against Happy Corbin.
yeah. The former Colts
Yes.
wrestling each other in Tennessee Titan Stadium.
Yeah. How interesting.
The best part for me about this match was when Corbin was coming out and the guys were singing to him.
Dumbass Corbin.
Yeah, I thought it was like put into his music, and then the camera goes up there, and there's like this big group of guys singing.
I joked with a friend of mine last night saying, "Hey, look, Pat hired 25 drunk fans to do this."
You wouldn't have to hire them. You just say, "Hey guys, you want to be part of Summerslam? Well, there's free beer up there. Just drink, and then when it's time to sing, just sing."
Yeah, exactly.
So, um, I liked the match. It was kind of like what you expected.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Corbin to win, and I'm not sure why I did that.
Right.
I don't know. McAfee's
McAfee's
so McAfee might be undefeated, except for his one loss to Vince McMahon. By the time his career
I
is
don't
over,
know. Yeah.
does that count as a win? Like
I
that was a real match, right?
I
Like, are they counting the because when you look at if you go to WrestleMania and you want to look at the results, it actually
Mhm.
says Vince McMahon defeats McAfee,
Pat McAfee, yeah.
which is the weirdest thing ever.
I know.
But I like the match. It was exactly kind of what we thought it was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I was entertained for most of the match, so probably a C plus.
Yeah, this was a fun match. I'm starting to like Pat McAfee matches. Well, actually, I think I've always liked them. The four that he's had.
Yeah,
Um, I think the one he had at WrestleMania with Theory was the better of the two, but I'm not saying that this is a bad match, because this is a good match.
yeah,
Um, I I just liked the interaction all the way around from beginning to end. Um, just a good match. I think if they wanted to transition McAfee out from commentary to be a wrestler, I think he'd do it in a heartbeat,
yeah,
because he's got the promo skills, he's got the athletic ability, he's got the charisma. Um, I think if he wanted to do it, I think he would.
yeah,
Um, I gave this a B minus, so we're not that far off on this one.
yeah. Well, I try not to go like B's for everything,
Oh,
especially like if I'm gonna
right,
get Bianca
right.
uh, and Becky like a grade. I
Yeah.
can't give Corbin and McAfee the same kind of grade. That
I
just
mean, I thought Becky and Bianca was better than McAfee and Corbin, but
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. All right. Then we had the tag team title match, Street Profits and the Usos. Jeff Jarrett was the guest referee. This was a good match. I thought the one they had at Money in the Bank was better, but this was a good match. Jeff Jarrett called it right down the middle. He didn't, favor anybody.
yeah.
There were a few times where it looked like the Street Profits were going to win the titles, and they came very, very close. Usos hit the 1D on Dawkins to retain the titles. Again, I thought it was a good match. I thought the one at Money in the Bank was just a bit better. I gave this a B+.
Yeah, I'm pretty close with you. My favorite part was when well, not my favorite part, but like when Jeff Jarrett was just about to start, like the match was just about to start, and they're like, yeah. Then they're talking about like the officiating issue in the last
Mm-hmm.
match,
Right.
and they're like, that's why Jeff Jarrett's here. I'm like, okay, so the officiating was bad, so you're going to hire a guy that doesn't officiate to officiate. And then I started laughing. I'm like, okay. It's like, oh, our truck driver, he screwed up. So we're going to hire this guy
A
that's never driven
special
a
guest
truck.
truck driver.
We're going to hire this guy that doesn't know how to drive a truck to drive our truck for us. And hopefully he does a good job. But yeah, it was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like you summed it up pretty perfectly. The Street Profits kind of like flipping out at Jeff Jarrett was a little odd
Yeah,
when
because
I
it was a
thought that
clean pin.
the clean pin and then the count was it wasn't slow. It was actually almost a little fast for me. And then he kicks out. Then he just I think that was more of a frustration thing.
Mm,
When I saw him do that, I thought maybe he was going to turn on his partner and then have him have a singles run, as
right.
we talked about. What we're thinking that like, he could probably have a very good career as a singles.
Yeah.
But the tag team matches between the Usos and the Street Profits have been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were referring to the Usos as the best tag team in WWE history. I was curious where you would put them in that
See,
spot.
mm,
They've like had longevity,
they have had longevity.
um, and they are very good.
They are.
I don't even know like when I'm talking about tag teams, like overall tag teams, like Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Usos probably are my four. Maybe Demolition before.
Right.
If you're just talking WWE,
Exactly. Like if you're talking WWE, they are in the top 10 easily.
oh for sure, I would say top five, like Heart
Where
Foundation,
see,
maybe.
because because
There's so
yeah,
many.
the
It's
Hearts,
hard. It's like trying
Demolition.
to pick the greatest of all time in football. Like everyone just says Tom Brady, but like there's other aspects
Yeah,
of
there's
football,
Jerry
right?
Rice, there's Jim Brown.
Yeah,
You know,
like it's so hard to pick a player or a team like for so many eras. Like
yeah.
from 2010 to now, I would probably say Usos number one.
Mm-hmm.
They've they gel so well together. They like people always say, "Oh, though they've had the titles for 400 days." I'm like, "Well, that's because the creative team wrote them to win all those matches." It
Mm-hmm.
like like you can't. People are saying, "Oh, Roman Reigns he's the goat because he's
Mm-hmm.
had the title for 700 days."
No, no.
That's because the creative team has him dominating. Now you got to look at the in-ring work, the mic work, all that stuff to determine like goat status.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about that when I heard the commentators talking about the Usos being the greatest team in WWE history, and I think it's close. So that would be a nice debate one day. I'm
Yeah,
just curious
actually,
what you thought about that.
we might put that up as a poll question.
Yeah,
Actually, on our group.
yeah. Who do
Like,
you think is the greatest tag
mm-hmm.
team in history? And then
In just WWE,
yeah.
just
Problem with that
WWE.
is that everyone just puts up their own team, and then you got a poll with like 17 teams, and no one ranks.
Right, right.
So, yeah, but yeah, this match delivered. I'm curious to see what happens now. Like I don't think the Street Profits would get another match right away.
No, you got to go with a new team now.
Um,
But I don't know
Usos,
who. That's the thing.
like I'm sure they're going to have a tag team match at the is it called Clash of the Castle?
Yeah, Clash at the Castle.
Okay, so like I wouldn't be upset if we had another one, but like you just if you're going to have the Usos keep beating the Street Profits, it's going to kind of hurt them as a team. So
Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't be surprised if they split those guys up. Maybe maybe
Now, what grade
I
did
don't
you
know.
give this match?
Oh, B plus.
B plus. Okay. Uh, then I just wanted to mention this real quick. Parental advisory for this next bit because we see Kid Rock making out with I think his girlfriend or wife or
Yeah,
something.
what the hell was that he was kissing?
I felt
Like this guy was married to Pamela Anderson.
no. I
Like did he lose a bet? He slams a Bud Light and then starts making out with his chick that's like 100 pounds more than him.
I mean, I feel bad for I
I
feel
was sitting
bad
there.
for
I was
the
like, "What did
girl.
I just watch?"
I feel bad for the girl. You know,
Yeah,
like Haley, Kid Rock, you could do so much better. Anyway, Riddle comes out.
she
Riddle
probably couldn't do better than him. Come on, Kid Rock. Kid Rock's okay.
Riddle comes out. He wants to fight Rollins. Riddle gets beat up, and that's basically the segment there.
Yeah, so I think it was more like let's get Riddle on the pay per view because
Mm-hmm.
when he came out, the crowd it was a big
Oh
pop.
yeah,
The girls love
he's
Riddle,
over.
right?
He is
He's,
over.
I didn't think he was ever going to be over when he first came out. He's
Mm-hmm.
like kicking his flip flops off. I'm like calling everyone bro. I'm like this guy's the worst. But I like him now. He's in the back like rolling with his scooter, like
Mm-hmm.
like he's won me over. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like if it's a storyline injury, I don't
Yeah,
understand why they wouldn't just have a Seth Rollins Riddle match at SummerSlam and probably be one of the matches of the night. So
yeah,
maybe he is, maybe he hurt himself legitimately,
yeah.
but they did have some physical action in the ring there. But
Okay.
Seth is like on a tear right now. I
I just
I
wish
don't
he
know
had
where
better
he could.
sense of fashion. That's all I want.
Oh, I think Becky picks out his clothes for him.
Oh man.
Yeah, I liked your for everybody that was liking and commenting with us last night. That was great. Your first comment is, "What is Becky wearing?"
Yeah,
I was a little late. I think I was 5 minutes behind.
and I'm
I'm
not
like, and
talking
then I
about
watched it.
and I'm not talking about her the gear. I was talking about what she
Yeah,
was wearing during her entrance because it was like she had the weird ass glasses,
yeah,
visor or whatever,
yeah.
and she had this coat, not a coat, but like a skirt dragon. I don't know. She and Seth have the worst fashion sense in all of wrestling.
But it's on purpose.
I
You know it's
know,
on
and it
purpose.
drives me nuts.
And guess what? You're talking about it. That's what they want. Like when Seth Rollins goes, you know what? I want to look like a Power Ranger today. I'm going to look like a Power Ranger today, and then it's
I'm
going to be
gonna look
trending
like a
on Twitter.
Power Ranger.
He's so good. He's so talented.
He is. He is.
I don't know where they're going to go from here with
With
both of
Seth.
them, with
Yeah.
Becky and Seth.
Be interesting to
So
see.
I think Becky's going to be a babyface now.
And keep Seth a heel.
Yeah. Well, you got to keep Seth a heel. He's just on a roll here,
Yeah.
dancing around like a lunatic, and the crowd is like all in on his music. That's what you need. You need crowd participation music.
Yeah.
Similar to like when Kurt Angle would come out and they'd all yell, "You suck" at him. It's similar to that.
All right. So then we go to the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Oh, dear God. Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. This was the worst match to me. Oh my God. I don't know what this was.
I know exactly what it was. I know exactly what they're doing.
It's a car wreck.
Okay, so what they're doing here, Ronda loses, but Liv tapped at 2.5.
The ending, I like the ending saved this match from getting a far worse grade.
Yeah, but what they're doing, Ronda's a heel. They're turning her into a heel. And then Liv keeps the belt. Ronda's going to get suspended on Raw for sure. Probably till Survivor Series, maybe Royal Rumble. Because she's the female Brock Lesnar. She does her stuff, and then she goes away. So now she'll come back. This will give Liv gets the win over Ronda, but it protects Ronda too. I know, like, for the in-ring work, it wasn't a good match, but the story makes sense for me. That's why I don't think it's the worst match of the night. Ronda dominated. Liv taps at 2.5. The ref missed it. And then you got the 3 count. So Liv holds on to the title. She'll be champion till Survivor Series, probably, maybe Royal Rumble. And then they'll. I don't know what's going to happen. I always assumed that they were going to do a Becky Ronda Rousey match.
Right.
I thought Ronda would be the babyface and beat Becky, as Becky being a heel, and then Ronda winning the championship. That's just kind of what I always thought was going to happen, but it seems like they're flipping it. I don't know if that match is even going to happen now, because Becky's already beat Ronda.
Yeah.
So, and you're not going to have Ronda beat Becky at WrestleMania as a heel. That doesn't make any sense. Unless you're building for a third match. That could happen at WrestleMania 40. Which maybe, if you're looking at the long picture, Ronda destroys Becky at Mania 39 and then has the belt all year. And then Becky has that comeback and then wins it.
Right.
Because Ronda's contract runs out WrestleMania 40. That's her last night on her current deal. So that would make sense. Actually, I'm talking myself into it now. So you don't need to watch wrestling for the next year and a half, because
there you go, folks.
I just booked the territory for you.
No.
I always thought that would be a fun show to do, like rebooking something.
Right.
Now let's just rebook the Attitude Era. I'll show you how to do
it. For me,
no, I like the match though. Honestly, I give it a C+.
Oh,
I do, like, because it. Now this is the fun part of our show. We're gonna debate, man. I love it.
Go.
Okay, so I know you didn't like the match, but you got to look at the bigger picture, the story that they're telling. Ronda, and then Ronda destroys a referee. You know she's getting suspended. Liv is holding her arm in the socket, holding the title. She's the winner, and she gets her run as champion. Ronda stays protected, and there you go. I honestly liked it, how they did it. Your time for your rebuttal, sir.
Yes, thank you. Okay. now, like I said, I liked the finish. I will give you that, sir. I liked the finish, and the post-match stuff made sense. However, if you're talking about the duration of the match, this is sloppy. It is bad. I just could not believe that you could have a Ronda Rousey match be this bad. And maybe Liv had the jitters. Maybe. I don't know. But it's like, because the biggest criticism that I've heard since Rousey came back, and I don't know if I agree with it or not, is Ronda isn't motivated this time around. Again, I don't know if I agree with that or not. But it's going to get to a point where if Ronda keeps having these kinds of matches, it's going to end up where someone is going to get seriously injured. And again, I'm not saying all of it is Ronda's fault. Liv has to take some of the blame as well here. So I'm giving this a D-. I just did not get into this match. And again, it really wasn't until the ending. The ending is what saved this from maybe getting an no, it wouldn't have gotten an F. No.
Yeah.
No, let me take that back.
Yeah,
But
well, no, I agree. Like the match was sloppy, but I think like I don't know if that's all Ronda's fault. Maybe the chemistry between the two, like
it takes two to make something good.
Ronda's so much bigger and stronger, and she's a trained like MMA person. So
Like she's a Terminator.
yeah, like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if sometimes if she gets in there and she gets going, and she kind of forgets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I'm not supposed to kill this chick.
Right.
I'm supposed to do what we planned on doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree with you with the not being motivated.
Yeah.
Because like she has the family now, like the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and she's done. She's main evented WrestleMania. She's made a lot of money in the UFC, and
Mm-hmm.
now I don't know what she makes at WWE, but it's
Pretty nice.
got to be a huge chunk. So she might just be going through the motions.
Yeah, maybe.
But we'll see. But yeah, for storyline reasons, I liked how they did it. The ending worked for me. But yeah, you're right. The match was sloppy, but it's kind of hard. Like what do you do? Like if you're booking this match, you probably have Ronda dominate the whole match, and then like the way they had the match planned, just it was a little sloppy.
Yeah.
They cleaned that up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They've had, I think, well, they had the Money in the Bank cash-in match, but that wasn't even a match.
No, that wasn't really a match.
And then this is their first real match, so
yeah,
I'm sure Ronda will get another shot here when she comes back. We'll see what happens with the women's title.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Then Kane comes out, says some number. I don't think it actually was that number. So
48,000 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a low number too. So
I think it might have actually been a little bit lower
because the Titan Stadium, like it looked like it was almost sold out. Like how many people were there.
Right.
So and they always like exaggerate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was kind of cool. Knox County Mayor.
There, yep.
And then he called him Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's sitting there in a suit and he does the fire.
So. And he's like, okay.
All right, how much did I get paid for that? Drive down from Knox County, and
I don't think it's that far from Knox County.
Yeah, I'm not too. I'm not sure about Tennessee
because they usually.
So
it's usually when they're in like Knoxville or Nashville, he's usually there. So.
Oh yeah,
not that far. All right, now this is probably what everyone is gonna watch or listen to for our thoughts on the main event of SummerSlam: Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, last man standing, or in this case, last prop standing.
Well, this match is better than all their other matches combined.
Yes.
This it took 10 years, but they finally had a match. Brock Lesnar with the tractor.
Oh my God.
Sick. Okay, I loved every moment of this match. It was, and that's the first last man standing match Brock Lesnar ever had. I guess
That's
because no one,
surprising.
I guess no one ever wanted to be in a match with Brock Lesnar where there were no rules and he just had to smash you.
Right.
Um, yeah, it told a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Roman continues his dominance. Theory had his moment of cash in where he almost cashed in, and
Almost
then
did it.
and then Brock F5'd him, and then Roman. I think Roman ended up hitting him with the
Yeah.
briefcase. The highlight of the night is the tractor lifting the ring, and then
Yeah.
Roman doing this like crazy somersault out of the ring is just so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, when he first pushes the ring, Corey Graves looks like legitimately scared, like he's going to
Yes.
run over. Oh my! Did they not tell him that Brock's going to move the ring? Like, if you have it on, like, I don't know if you taped it or not. If you go back and just focus on Corey Graves, because like he's talking, but you can see him in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
He like legit looked freaked out. This match was perfect. I don't know where they go from here. They're going to Drew McIntyre now,
Mm-hmm.
in Clash to the Castle. If Roman beats Drew McIntyre in Wales, like, I don't know, there might be some trouble getting out of that country for him.
Right.
But I give it an A minus. This is my highest graded Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar match since we started doing this, and I don't think it could have gone any better. Even I knew Roman was going to win, and unfortunately he had to get help from the Usos and Paul Heyman, and that Paul Heyman part where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
just take the belts, leave my tribal chief alone. It was like, oh my god. And Brock's just sitting there, he's holding the belts, laughing at him. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
was just too good.
I'll
Like,
tell you, I'll tell you my favorite part,
okay,
and this will kind of make you laugh because a couple friends of mine had invited me to join them on Skype to watch. Like we had like we were watching SummerSlam on like our stream, wherever we were doing it.
sure.
So we're watching the match, and then Brock, he's got the tractor, the bulldozer
Yep.
to the ring, and he starts moving it a little bit. And he goes to pick up Reigns and puts him in the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tractor. And we're all saying the same thing.
Like,
What are
what?
you doing? You had the match won. You
Yeah,
did not need to do this.
exactly.
It was so funny, but
I know.
no, I loved this match. Um, this is easily Roman's best title match in the 2 years he's been champion by far. Um, I didn't think I'd say that after the one with Edge and Daniel Bryan the year before. This was such a fun match from beginning to end. I got nothing to complain about with this. I
Yep.
am on the same boat with you. I'm giving this an A minus. Just a fun match, a great way to end this feud. And now it's on to Wales for him and Drew McIntyre. And I am looking at this already as Drew is the last serious potential threat for the time being for Roman Reigns to lose the title.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't see him losing. Like like he's gone this far. Like, I know it's in Wales,
Mm-hmm.
and they're Drew. Like, let's be honest, Drew's in the main event, so they sell out this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, Europe versus USA
Yeah.
in this match. Um, he's like, I just don't see after winning at WrestleMania and winning at the WrestleMania before this, and it's gonna be like when this pay per view happens. I think it's gonna be 699 days.
No, I
Things
thought
like
today.
that.
I thought today is day 700.
Oh, they said last night it was 680. So
Oh, I don't know then.
yeah. Um, I think like if it works out, like it depends on exactly when that show is, but I think
Mhm.
it'd be around it past 700, or I just don't see the reasoning why they would have him lose at a non, like I know it's like in a big stadium, but it's not at a big WWE like
Right,
big show, SummerSlam,
right.
WrestleMania, Survivor Series on a lesser
It's a
level.
clash at the castle.
Yeah, Clash of the Castles. So um, I guess we'll talk about that match when we'll
Hmm.
probably end up doing a show before that
Hmm.
event, maybe a preview, and then maybe something else, and we'll talk about it a little bit more once we get into it.
Yeah, and then we'll get to watch classic clash at the castle history to
Yeah,
review.
yeah. Like I don't know if there's ever been one
There
before,
has it. That's why I
but
made that joke.
maybe we'll have to review some European show or something. I don't
All right.
know.
So before we get to Sting, I wanted to report because I saw this morning that WWE Day One is coming back, and it is happening on January the 1st, 2023.
Okay, yeah, I
The
didn't hate
Atlanta,
it.
Georgia.
I had to set up multiple TVs so I could watch wrestling and football, but sometimes you got to do things.
Yeah, it'll depend on what the Sunday night game is at that point.
Yeah.
So
Oh, is it a Sunday?
yeah,
Okay.
because yeah, New Year's is on a Sunday this year. So
New Year's Day is a Sunday. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we won't miss any bowl games.
All right.
So excuse me.
Oh
All
yes,
right.
like New Year's Eve is usually the national or the playoff games.
Yeah, yeah.
So we won't have to worry about that.
Okay, so now we are actually real quick, before we talk about Sting, I wanted to briefly go and tell everyone how our Facebook fans voted on SummerSlam. And the majority of the votes, they gave SummerSlam an A grade,
That was my assumption.
with one person giving it a B. And as far as favorite match, the majority of the people went with the last man standing match with, oh man, I typed that one wrong. With the Miz against Logan Paul, but I had it as Paul Logan. I don't know why.
Paul Logan, his
you
alter ego.
you know what I mean.
I'm so disappointed in you and how you type. Come on,
It
man.
was
Spell check.
oh my
All jokes
goodness.
aside.
I know. All right. So today we are going to talk about Sting, not the singer, but Steve Ball.
Oh, really? Oh,
I know.
man. I researched the wrong guy.
So the reason when we did our selections for the time period, the reason why I went with 90 to 94 was because to me 1990 is the beginning of where Sting is the most popular guy in WCW, and like he's the headliner for
Yeah.
WCW. And then to go to 94 is basically where his headlining ends because a certain guy in red and yellow comes in.
Yeah,
So
that attention stealing jerk off brother.
he didn't mind, brother. All right. So let's begin at a very interesting time in 1990 because Sting was a part of the Four Horsemen at one point.
Okay.
Uh
We got a lot of members of the Four Horsemen.
yeah.
We'll
Well,
do a Four
this
Horsemen show and talk about every single member.
so this version of the Horsemen is Flair, Sting, Arn Anderson, and Ole Anderson. And at Clash of the Champions 10, Sting is kicked out of the Horsemen because he will not give up his title shot against Ric Flair, which is like the cardinal sin in the Horsemen. You
Right.
don't go
You do what
after.
Rick says,
Yes.
or he's going to be mad at you.
Yes. So later that night, in the main event of that show, Sting comes out to confront Ric Flair and the Horsemen. Well, this is where plans take a turn because during one of the pull aparts, Sting he has his knee injured accidentally by the head of WCW security. Like he pulled him off and he landed wrong and messed up his knee.
Okay.
So Sting was supposed to face Flair at their next pay-per-view. And according to just about everybody, Sting was going to win the belt that night. What? Thanks to WCW head of security accidentally pulling him in a wrong way, the plans had to change. So Sting couldn't wrestle for a while, but they kept him on TV. But we're going to fast forward. Well, actually, I'll just mention it real quick for my friend Ed. At Capital Combat 90, Sting gets saved by RoboCop.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yep, RoboCop.
You heard that right, folks.
Here come RoboCop.
Oh man, that's not good.
So now, after Sting's knee has healed, we get to the Great American Bash. It is Sting and Flair for the world title. Pretty good match. I almost recommended this match to you to watch just for the historic purpose of that match.
Okay.
The end of the match, Ric Flair goes for a figure four leg lock. Sting reverses it into a small package. 1, 2, 3. Sting wins the world title in a huge celebration. So Sting is now the man in WCW. And then he gets into this feud with the Black Scorpion. And if you look at some of the details of like the buildup in the feud,
yeah,
like the idea is there. It's like, I'm someone from your past.
sure.
I've known you for years, blah, 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 blah. So we then get to Starrcade, which for those that don't know, Starrcade was WCW's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or you could say WrestleMania was WWF Starrcade. You could go that way. So the match is Sting and the Black Scorpion. Sting wins. Black Scorpion's got to take his mask off. Black Scorpion wins. He wins the world title. And we never know who he is. It is in a cage match. It's not that good of a match. Sting wins. So at the end, he manages to get the mask off, and it's Ric Flair.
Of course it was.
But,
did anyone not know this?
Well, but here's the thing.
Like when you watch the match and you're watching the Black Scorpion,
Mm-hmm.
like it's Ric Flair. Like you can tell by how he wrestles.
And also his nose. Like
someone
said, like his nose. But he was not the original choice for that to be the Black Scorpion.
No.
From what I've heard, and someone can correct me on this one, the original choice was going to be a wrestler by the name of Al Perez. The only thing that switched it was that Al Perez wanted to win the world title.
Who is Al Perez? Is he known somewhere?
He wrestled in Dallas in the Von Erichs territory
Okay.
and got kind of big there. And then he was in Crockett in like 88. And then
Okay.
he had a cup of coffee in the WWF. Like he was not there very long.
All right.
But I've
Basically, like if he wins, then you don't take the mask off anyway. So it wouldn't
right,
matter.
right.
It's not like, oh, I'm Al Perez, so I'm the champion. No, you're the
Exactly.
Black Scorpion and you're the champion. So it
But
doesn't matter.
from the way, like they were giving the clues, like 80s, all that stuff. I really think, and this would have been me doing the booking.
Yeah.
I would have had to be Eddie Gilbert, who knew, like he was with Sting at the beginning of his career, was his manager at one point down
Sure.
in the Mid-South. That's who I would have had it be. But I was only 5. I had no idea who Eddie Gilbert was. So.
Oh, so that's you, like now, like if you could like go back and rebook it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
because
I
it was
could.
somebody from his past. Ric Flair was probably the most shocking reveal at that point for them. So that's probably why they went with that, even though it was kind of obvious it was him.
Yeah.
Like when the first time I saw that match, I knew it was Ric Flair just because I hadn't seen it live. It was so.
Yeah.
But then I'm like watching, I'm like, it's totally Ric Flair. Like maybe I wouldn't have been able to figure it out if I didn't know already.
Right.
But I don't know. That's just, it's kind of hard. Like no one wrestles like Ric Flair. Ric Flair wrestles like Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Like, is there another guy that you would say wrestles like him?
No, you can't.
So
Not even Charlotte wrestles like Ric Flair.
Charlotte's probably the closest, but their styles are still like way different.
They are. So after that debacle, Sting loses the title to Ric Flair in a house show at the Meadowlands on January 11th, 91. And that ends his first run. So 1991 for Sting, for at least half of the year, he's kind of not a big factor, but he still kind of is, because he teams with Lex Luger and they go for the tag team titles in a really good match. And then he has a feud with Nikita Koloff. But in August of that year, he wins a tournament to win the United States title. And then at Clash of the Champions in November, he has a pretty bad night, because after he won the title, he kept getting these presents and they would change.
Yep.
One time it was Cactus Jack. Another time it was Abdullah the Butcher. I think there was a model in there once. So no one knew who was giving Sting these presents. So he was going to get his final present at this Clash of the Champions. And it is revealed that Lex Luger is the one that had been doing the gifts, and he attacks Sting from behind.
Okay.
And he clips his knee. So this causes a problem for Sting, because later that night, he is supposed to defend the United States title against the recently joined Ravishing Rick Rude. So
what year are we in right now?
We're in the end of 91.
91, okay.
So they do this story where Sting's in the hospital. And if Sting does not come back to the arena in time for his match, he loses the title. So Sting manages to make it back to the arena to have his match with Rick Rude, a valiant effort, but Rick Rude wins the United States title. So this has Sting now basically set up to face Luger. And it kind of cements that with Starrcade 91, where they have Battle Bowl, and it comes down to Sting and Luger. Sting wins. So at Super Brawl 2, Sting faces Lex Luger for the WCW title. And Sting wins the WCW title from Lex Luger. And this would be Luger's last WCW appearance, because he ends up going to WWF or WBF or whatever they had him doing.
Oh, yeah, they had that stupid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Till 95 when he comes back.
Yeah. So 92 Sting is interesting for a number of reasons. One of which, he ends up being in maybe the best War Games ever, because he has to finish his feud with Rick Rude. So it is Sting, Ricky Steamboat, Dustin Rhodes, Barry Windham, and Nikita Koloff against the Dangerous Alliance of Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, Bobby Eaton, and some guy named Steve Austin.
Yeah, he didn't amount to anything. So.
No, he didn't. But anyway, they end that feud. Then Sting has to finish a feud with Cactus Jack, which started like the previous year. And then after that, he finally has a match with Big Van Vader. And Vader had injured him previously in a match. So they're going to have a match at the Great American Bash 92. And this is their first pay-per-view meeting between the two. Vader beats Sting to win the world title. So then Sting has a new person to deal with. Jake the Snake Roberts. And we're just going to save you time because we did cover Jake Roberts a while back. They had a coal miner's glove match. Sting won. Sting's 92 ends again with Starrcade, where he beats Vader in the finals of the King of Cable tournament. Yeah, King of Cable. But that match is unbelievable. 93, he has a strap match with Vader at Super Brawl 3, where Vader wins. But the title wasn't on the line. So it really was just, let's see what we can do.
Okay.
He does win back the WCW title on a tour of England, but loses it back to Vader 6 days later. Then, for pretty much the rest of 93, Sting teams up with Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. And they have a tag team main event against Vader and Sid Vicious at Beach Blast. And there's an infamous like mini movie that's up on YouTube, basically to hype that match up. And then Sting for the rest of 93 is not a factor. And I'm being very gentle about that. Because Flair came back. That's really about it. So now we get to 94. And Sting has a feud again with Ravishing Rick Rude. This time over, and this could be considered the school of redundancy here, the WCW International World Heavyweight title. Yes, kids.
Wow, that is a lot of words.
Yes, kids, that was a real thing. So Sting beats Rude for that said belt. in April at Spring Stampede. Then he loses the title back to Rude in Japan. And this is the match where Rick Rude's career ends. Like, he injures his back real bad. This is the match that ends Rick Rude's career. So at Slamboree, they were going to give Sting the belt, but he refused it and wanted to face Vader for the belt. See, Sting's a stand-up guy. He didn't want to hand it to him. He wanted to win it. So Sting and Vader have their match. Sting wins, which then sets up Sting versus Ric Flair in a unification match at a Clash of Champions. Well, this is the point in time where Hulk Hogan comes to play, because Hulk Hogan's coming to WCW, and he challenges the winner of that match to a shot at the world title. Well, Ric Flair beats Sting for the belt, and Sting gets written off TV for a little bit. And then here's the rest of 1994 for Sting. And this is where I feel bad for him. At Fall Brawl, he is in a triangle elimination match with Vader and the Boss, who used to be the Big Boss Man, but
he's the Boss.
But then he had to have his name changed to the Guardian Angel.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's bad.
Yeah, that's not great.
So I poor Ray Traylor. So Sting loses that match. He doesn't even have a match at Halloween Havoc. He instead is sitting with Muhammad Ali, which I guess is a decent payoff, I guess.
Yeah, that's not a bad person to sit with.
No, not at all. And then he helps Hogan after the match at the end of Halloween Havoc, because Hogan got attacked. So he and Hogan become buddies. They team up at a Clash of the Champions, which leads to Sting facing the Shark at Starrcade that year.
And that's Earthquake, right?
Yes. And you could see right there, in a 4-year period, where Sting went from being the headlining act of WCW all the way down. And it ends with him facing a shark.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's too bad.
But what I do want to say with Sting is he had in that time frame some incredible matches. Him and Flair at the Bash, like I said. The War Games. Like, he was in like 3 War Games in a row, and 2 of them are really good. The tag match against the Steiners. Anything with Vader. Sting was just on fire. And he had longevity. That's the other thing.
He's still doing it.
Yeah.
So
whereas with some wrestlers, you get to the top and you may have a year, 2 years at the top. Sting's on top for 4 years, just about.
Yeah.
And then even after 94, he's still a big attraction. He's not the main attraction by this point.
No, because Hogan was there.
Yeah, Hogan and Savage were there.
They brought in the WWE guys, and then it seems like Sting kind of got pushed down.
Yeah. But he was still delivering. That's the thing.
He still had loyalty too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like like some guys, if I was a top guy in one territory and then you brought in the former top guy, like maybe I would go, well, maybe I'll just go there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Sting would have went to the WWF in '94, like there could have been some pretty good matches, and
Yeah.
could have like he could have had that great feud that he had with Bret Hart like
Mm-hmm.
5 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been something to watch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, Sting was so loyal to WCW
Oh yeah,
that he never left until the day they died.
yep.
And then
And he
we
still
go
didn't go to WWE until
2014.
yeah, until like, and then that run is upsetting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, how things went, but is what it is.
And now he's got a fresh breath, of life in AEW. He
Yeah,
doesn't he doesn't wrestle as much, but they're using him correctly.
yeah.
And when he wrestles, he has pretty good matches.
Well, yeah, he's
He's
still
amazing, and he's in his 60s.
yeah. Like sure, his athleticism isn't really there anymore,
Right.
but he's still
Still fun to
pretty
watch.
pretty good. Like you can watch a Sting 10-minute match and still be entertained.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like I think the last match I saw him in was a 6-man tag at Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
And he was really good in that match. And he didn't do the majority of the work. It was the younger guys, but he was really good in that match.
yeah,
And I will say this because as we're recording this, tonight is the Ric Flair show, the last match. And I had a talk with a friend of mine the other day, and he brought up something. Sting's not on that show that I know of,
yeah,
which is surprising because I would think of all the people that Ric Flair is associated with name wise, Sting is one of those guys.
yeah. I was kind of surprised Sting wasn't like the opponent
Like
last match.
I don't know if like Sting had other obligations or if he just couldn't make it. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, maybe like is he allowed to do other shows with his contract? I'm assuming that
I, I'm sure he does, or
yeah,
I would think, but he doesn't wrestle that much. So,
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll
but
see.
yeah, Sting in that time, folks, he was the flipping man. He was the man.
Yeah, he definitely was. I think if Hogan didn't go there, probably would have been better though
Mm-hmm.
for him.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like the time period we didn't cover was when he became the Crow,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind
Which
of cool. The
which
only
that could
thing,
be another show of its own.
yes, I don't want to get into that too much, but the only thing that I didn't like is when he joined the Wolf Pack, I think it was,
Oh yeah.
and like because he was always the guy like that never went to NWO.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody went to NWO at one point,
Yeah.
which was the downfall of that company.
And then
Which
he ends up going to the Wolf Pack.
he goes to the Wolf Pack, and then he had the red face paint. And it just looks stupid, but
But like I said,
yeah, like
that's another show
he
for another day.
yeah, for sure. He was the poster boy for for WCW. Like when you think of
Mm-hmm.
WCW, you think of Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like WWE and F. For me, when I think of the WWF, I think of Hulk Hogan. I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think of Bret Hart. I think of Shawn Michaels. When I think of WCW, I think of Sting. That's it.
Yeah. It's like Sting and Flair.
Like I don't think of Hulk Hogan in
No.
red and yellow.
Mm-mm.
I think of Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan all together, and I think of Sting.
Mm-hmm.
when, like, if you ask me, like, who do you think of when, like, if there's a word association, like WCW, Sting,
Mm-hmm.
automatically.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man. Um, and he went through a couple different character changes, which is hard for guys, but he was awesome at everything.
Yeah.
So, but we were not going to talk about after 95. So, yeah, he's still doing it. He's
Yeah.
incredible. So, great for him. Hope all is well. I
Exactly.
don't know if I'm going to watch the Ric Flair thing tonight. I'll have to check it out, see what the price is.
I have already ordered for the show. I'm
Okay.
watching it
I don't
tonight.
even know if I can watch it, to be honest.
I think you can.
I'm sure. You know what? Here, I'm sitting right
Yeah,
here. Let
check
me check it
because I
out.
think it's on. If check if it's on regular pay-per-view, and then
I don't even know
if it
what number
isn't,
my.
Fight TV will have it. So
I never do pay per view anymore because I got the network. I gotta find the pay per view channels.
right.
So,
So as DK is looking it up, if you would like to join our Facebook group, it is the DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast. I put the link. I usually put the link in the description of every episode we do. So just click on there, and then if you can't find it, it's okay. Go to the search bar on Facebook, type DK and Bill Wrestling Podcast, and you're right there. And add yourself, and we'll welcome you to the group with open arms. And then we'll sing Kumbaya around the bonfire while having s'mores.
well, I got it here. $34.99. Might have to do it.
Yep, got to do it, bro. Got to do it.
And you said you spent 40
Uh,
American. Man, I'm getting a steal here.
yeah, I
Maybe
know.
I'm on the standard def channel. I gotta check that out.
Eh,
If it's $34.99,
right.
I might have to watch it.
Yeah.
Tonight at 5 o'clock, it says for me.
So it'll be 7 o'clock for
7
me.
o'clock for
So
you. Long weekend, so maybe. I'm not promising anything. I might be able to check out the replays later. But
yeah, that's cool.
yeah, it should be interesting. Do you have any? Who else is on this show?
It is like the talent is just all over. You've got wrestlers from Mexico, Japan, Impact Wrestling, NWA, MLW, AEW. There's even going to be a bunkhouse battle royal, and then the main event, which is a tag match, Ric Flair and Andrade, his son-in-law, against Jay Lethal and the busiest man in Nashville this weekend, Jeff Jarrett.
That's probably Jeff Jarrett was able to do the refereeing gig because he's already there. I think he lives in Nashville too. So.
Yeah, he's like, let me warm up. Let me warm up. I'll be the referee for the match because I have a match next night.
Yeah, Nashville. They should almost have Jerry the King Lawler as a referee or something.
Yeah, great.
Sick. Yeah, I liked it. Him coming out. I was kind of hoping he'd be wearing wearing the hat with the two J's that are lit up when he came out. But
I was surprised he didn't come out with a guitar. I thought he would.
yeah, no one got hit with a guitar. Like, what are they doing? I just realized that.
Yeah.
I know that's what I predicted. I'm like, you said whoever loses the match will get hit with a guitar. So we're both wrong.
Yeah, we were.
So, but great show. Back-to-back shows this weekend. SummerSlam was a big success.
Yes.
I feel like our predictions were pretty good. I was wrong on a couple matches. You were wrong on a couple, but who's counting, right?
Exactly.
Because I'm not, because I forgot to write them down. So I will hit you up on Messenger for my choice for wrestler next episode, unless you wanted to do a review that we can do a poll.
I'll have to start thinking of which wrestler to do. So
okay, so I will I will hit you up and we'll do a poll for that. I won I think the first two and you've won the last one, so
yeah,
See how that
We've been
goes.
pretty consistent. I'll say
Yeah. Except for the History and Legacy podcast, you just keep winning. So we'll see
that.
how that goes. But
Undefeated champion of the world.
thanks everyone for watching and listening. Appreciate all the love and support.
Yes.
Please join and join the Facebook group and follow us on Twitter for everything.
Yep. I'm at House of Bill, and he is at
DTA Mac 83.
There you go. And we'll talk to you all next time. Have a good week, everybody.
See you.